And the Raiders at 7-0. And Mickey, it really has been a tough year for Canton. McKinney, boy, used to year in, year out, impressive. Always seemed to battle Massillon towards the end. This year, though, 2-5, and really a tough finish to last year. And Brian Cross trying to turn this program around.
Well, of course, a lot of that success came under the guidance of head coach Tom McDaniel, who's across the sideline now for the Warren Harding Raiders. You're right, Phil. They've had some problems trying to get that coaching situation. I think they got a good one here with Brian Cross at a time.
On the flip side, Warren Harding at 7-0. We saw him earlier this year against Buchtel. They struggled a bit in that ball game. Still won the game, undefeated heading into tonight's game, and boy, a packed house to see the hometown Raiders.
That's exactly right, and in fact, they're ranked at the time. I think they were ranked 4th in the country, and I don't know how they come up with this type of ranking, but with all of the schools that you have, but I think they're ranked their 4th or 3rd currently at this time. But they struggled, as you said, against Buchtel, and Buchtel, of course, is having a rough season this year. They're going through the city series pretty well, but they're out of conference games. They've gotten torched pretty good, and they did not look that impressive against Harding. So, but they played much better, and a big win over Mooney this season, and they're headed in the right direction. We expect a much better performance.
Well, you take a look at Warren Harding, the Raiders quarterback Alex Ingram. He is a senior. Richard Davis, though, a sensational year a year ago and playing very well. There's a running back also, Delbert Ferguson, and the wide receiver. You know, it's interesting. A lot of teams talk about the quarterbacks and running backs, but they got a good one in Mario Manningham.
Yeah, he put on a nice show here when we here before, and he's the go-to guy for Ingram, and keep your eye on him. He's #1. He's got a lot of speed. 6-foot junior, 175 pounds, and he can motor.
Canton McKinley Bulldogs head coach Brian Cross in his first season, as you mentioned, Mickey, overall 146-78. He was a head coach at Grove City High School for 16 years. He played some high school ball. He was tight end defensive end for this year. It really has been a difficult year. Really, they have not played a complete game, not the intensity he would like, and he's got to have both those things tonight.
Yeah, well, he was anxious to get over here and get going.
For the state playoffs, we saw a big ball game last night, Hoban and Walsh, and Tyrell Sutton for the Hoban Knights. It looks like certainly Hoban on the way now to another playoff spot. The opening kickoff across the 25 and out near the 30-yard line. Thaddeus Walker on the kickoff return for Harding, and they're going to mark the ball just shy of the 30 at the 29. Certainly Ken McKinley coming in with that 2-5 record, but Harding at 7-0, an unblemished record. They have played very well this year. The fake handoff going to roll, try to put it up. Wide open, 40, 45 to the 50, 45 and down near the 43-yard line, just like that. Able to hook up with Jonte Stroud. Alex Ingram, the fake, rolls out, and wide open for a big gainer to start this ball game.
Yeah, that was a beautiful pass, and he run the boot, and on that play, he only had one receiver in the pattern, and there he is, and he's wide open. Nobody within 15 yards of him. He goes right up the sideline. Fortunately, they got some pursuit from the cornerback as he slipped a block in the by one of the receivers and able to come up to make the tackle. Otherwise, that may have gone the distance.
Watch out for this guy, Richard Davis, number 27. Again, earlier this year against Buchtel, he had a nice game and good size. 6'1", 192 pounds, senior. Richard Davis, he got a couple on that first down carry.
There it is there, getting a little bit of a push up front again. Not much there, as a good job defensively by the Bulldogs.
They're going to send Pete Sparks out to the right. 2nd down and 8. So Davis picking up a couple on that first down carry. Quarterback himself going to carry it to the 40. Still on his feet to about the 37 for Alex Ingram. Bring up 3rd and short now for Harding.
Ingram calling his own number, fakes it to the back of the line, and then he takes off. Actually, that play, but it should have been stopped for no gain. Coming up quickly was Bradley Jones. You'll see him here. Gets a wrap around him, but he can't finish the play here until, actually, that was 31, Ogletree, and he couldn't finish the play there. He should have dropped him right at the line of scrimmage, and instead he able to come up with about 5 yards.
Single coverage now on Manningham. He's a speedy wide receiver. Number 1, he split out wide to the left. To the right side, able to bring it in as he turned around after he got by that first down marker. Pete Sparks, the wide receiver, first down and 10.
Good protection again by that front wall. Nice little out pattern, moves the chains, and he's thrown 2 safe passes, and he seems to be getting into a rhythm. Now look for him maybe to go downfield.
Harding last week beat Youngstown Boardman 43-14. Of course, a year ago, 14-1, the Division I state runner-up. First down and 10. Ball at the Bulldogs 30 for about 5 yards. Davis this time off tackle and got 4 or 5, so it's going to bring up second down and 5.
Tackle on the play by number 9, Adams to Davis.
As you see, left side getting good push up front. And puts his head down, picks up some good yardage. Jeff Michalakis, a 6'4", 283-pound senior with a good block there. Opens up a little hole.
Just underway from Mollenkopf Stadium in Warren. Second down and 5. Davis got 5 on that first down carry. Back in the pocket, right over the middle and wide open. Again going to Sparks. Ingram to Sparks, another first down for Harding. Just moving the ball downfield.
Yep, nothing big. This looked like a crossing route, and he fell right in the middle of the field. Was wide open. Slow response there by the McKinley defense.
Yeah, Mike Kirksey finally got him, but after a first down. So Harding now trying to punch it in here on the opening drive. It's been an impressive drive to start this ball game. Davis again slicing through to the 10 and then driven back. So he maybe got to that 10-yard line on that first down carry.
Tackle on the play by number 34, Mike Kirksey.
Davis last year doing well this year, and last year had a sensational year. So he was able to rush for 1,460 yards, 15 touchdowns as a junior.
Chauncey Harrisville with a good block, a kick-out block, 5'9", 214-pound sophomore.
This time they send Manningham out to the left. Now he is in motion. Second down and 7. Davis trying to get down near the 5-yard line. They'll mark it just shy of the 5 at about the 6, and he's going to be a couple yards short of the first down marker.
Christian Smith with a nice tackle from his cornerback spot. He cheated up there on the line, 5'5", 154-pound senior. As they shut him down before he can get going. Now an interesting call here. They've had some success, and they'll probably, with him, Ingram on the run. So let's see if he doesn't try to get out of the pocket, giving himself an option to either throw or pull it down and take it in.
They line up in the eye, third down and 3. Manningham in motion, right to left. They're going to hand it off to Davis. Davis to the 5, trying to get in, and he is in. Richard Davis scores for Harding, and just like that, with 7:14 to go here in the opening quarter, and the Raiders on top 6-0.
Marquis Allen with a great block, 5'11", 223-pound junior. Rips a big hole open in the McKinley front. And Davis puts his head down and goes in from 5 to put Harding on. Nice, impressive drive of about 70 yards open a ball game.
Sparks the holder, and Joe Spain, we'll talk about him a little bit later on. He's able to put it through. It is 7-0 with 7:14 to go here in the opening quarter. And the McKinley Bulldogs will have the ball, see what they can do with it on their opening drive. But a very impressive start to this ball game for the Raiders. Wow.
started right off throwing some short routes here, really moving the chains at first play right off the bat on that flip to Stroud off of the bootleg. And he went for about 25 on that. And Ingram on the drive went 3 of 3 for 42 yards. Very impressive. And Davis finishes the drive off with from 5 yards out. He on that drive had 18 yards on 5 carries.
Join Stan Byatt, Steve French, Jim Minock, and Maggie Fuller. Mornings on the Talk of Akron, 100 FM, WNIR. So the Bulldogs, not much on defense, and the head coach, Tom McDaniels, boy, did a terrific job for McKinley for many years,
sure
and
did.
now doing a great job here at Warren Harding.
Number 42, Tyrone Gillespie, number 3.
Nice kick. Back to the goal line, out to the 10. Not much room. In fact, he's going to be brought down just across the 15-yard line. Ryan Brinson able to get out across the 15. It'll be first down and 10. And the Bulldogs, first of all, a couple of things. Didn't want to give up an early touchdown, letting Harding go the distance on the opening drive. Number 2, they would have certainly liked to have better field position.
8 plays, 71 yards.
Well, we mentioned, and you were going to talk to him, and we'll talk about it through the course of the game. Is Spain's leg is just unbelievable, and you saw right there on that kickoff, driving it right back to the goal line.
He's just been about perfect this year, and he can kick it. We watched him early in the pregame. He can drive the ball. Good first down run out across the 25. Very patient.
Number 87, Mark Jackson, ball carrier.
Mark Jackson, number 87. Boy, he just kind of waited and then took off as we watch here.
Host of blockers out in front as he comes around. It's almost like on the end around. He had a couple of guys out in front of him, really cleared the way and picked up great yardage. Good first down call.
Tyrone Gillespie is split out wide to the left. Single coverage now. First down and 10. After about 11 on that carry. First back through, and he's able to slice across the 30, maybe to the 31. And that is Theo Goodright. Goodright 5'10", 170-pound junior.
Richard Davis.
Didn't look like there was much there, Phil, but able to struggle and bust a couple of tackles at the line of scrimmage and able to get out to about 4 yards.
Talking to the head coach of McKinley, Brian Cross. Boy, he talked an awful lot about Theo Goodright, also Ryan Brinson. Second down. Not much there. Maybe back to the line of scrimmage with second down and 5, and I don't think he got much.
Christian Smith, the ball carrier.
Christian Smith, the ball carrier. Maybe 1, so it is going to be third down. In fact, they mark it now back a little bit, so it's third down and 5 for the Bulldogs.
Penetration by Harding's front wall there, and there's no place to go for the young man.
Christian Smith, just 5'5", 154-pound senior. This time Gillespie now, Tyrone Gillespie. He is split out wide to the left. Third down for the Bulldogs. They've got to get it just across the 35. Going to the air, single coverage, and can't get to it. Gillespie just couldn't get to it. Schaefer, though, able to throw it deep, so trying to maybe loosen up that defense early on, but a punting situation for the Bulldogs with 5:19 to go in the first quarter. They're going to have to give it up.
Well, Phil, they had the one-on-one coverage there, and probably something more to the middle of the field. Maybe have him, instead of the fly route, run him on a cross or a slant, because he had that whole wide side of the field to work with.
Pretty nice punt. That'll send Thaddeus Walker back inside the 30. He's to the 35 and 36. So we're going to see the Harding Raiders offense again. First drive.
Tackled on a play, number 87.
Took it in 7-0 with 5:18 to go here in the first quarter.
Raiders take over first down.
Impressive first possession drive for the Raiders, covering about 70 yards for that touchdown drive.
Harding certainly has an impressive offensive line and opened up some big holes in that first drive. They pitch it out this time. 40, Still on his feet, midfield, 45, inside the 45-yard line. Delbert Ferguson. He's 6'1", 225 pounds. He's a load. He lowered his shoulder. Nobody hit him, so he just kept on going. And they're going to mark it at the 43.
Boy, look at this textbook blocking that he gets. Cuts inside. There's a beautiful kick-out block. And guys are just being peeled back by that offensive front by Warren Harding. Gets a couple receivers blocking downfield, and he's off to the races.
This time, twin receivers out to the left. Pete Sparks, also Mario Manningham, number 1. They line up in the eye. First down and 10 once again in Bulldog territory. Crosses the 40 to the 38. Ferguson once again the ball carrier. Good penetration and got 4 yards on that first down carry.
Adam Studney, 5'10", 175-pound senior with the tackle for McKinley. He actually hit him about a yard downfield, but he dragged him for a couple.
Great crowd on hand tonight. The Raiders just keep on moving, getting ready for state playoff action. Of course, great year last year and a tough finish.
Yeah. 2-point loss to Elder in the finals.
Looked like a little motion. No flag, though, and it's going to be called, I think, a fumble.
Yeah, it is. That's a good call, and they let it sit there. He threw it behind the line of scrimmage.
Manningham made a big mistake by at least not trying to cover up that ball, and the Bulldogs are going to take over.
See, that's like a long lateral there. You can see it. See, he's behind the quarterback there, so it's almost like a long pitch out, and he's just lollygagging around there. And look at McKinley go after it and cover it up, and a big turnover there. Now they need to take advantage of this. Great field position out around midfield. They struggled on their first possession. Now they got plenty of room to roam here and maybe can get down here and tie this up.
I think Manningham has to realize, you take a look at college and pros, even on a play like that, you got to cover up the ball. You just never know. A little lackadaisical, and the ball turnover now to the Bulldogs. First down carry, trying to get to midfield.
Number 32.
Not quite. Theo Goodright, the ball carrier.
Tackle on the play, number 12.
Working on that defense just a little bit for the McKinley Bulldogs. They've been pushed around early on here. So Goodright, the ball carrier, making his way, but look at that 6'7" Raiders on top of him.
Hard pursuit, Phil, by the Harding defense. We saw that against Bookdale earlier in the year. We've seen it in the early going. They maybe need to run a couple of misdirection plays in there to get them flown one way and come back the other.
Jackson out to the right, Gillespie to the left, back in the pocket, looking, can't find anybody. Still can't find him, and I just throws it out of bounds. So Ryan Schaefer just couldn't find anybody downfield. We do have a flag down.
Schaefer's pass is intended for number 42.
He's outside the tackle box, so he's able to throw it out. I just don't know what the call is. It looks like they're going to mark it against McKinley.
It was thrown right where he went out of bounds.
Intentional grounding against the Bulldogs.
So it is going to be a loss of down on that play. Intentional grounding.
Plus the yardage, which is really going to put him in a hole.
Third down and 19. Ball's in the 38-yard line.
They do have decent field position, 37. You mentioned maybe trying to go over the middle or trying to hit something, maybe a quick pass and turn it upfield instead of just throwing the ball long here. So we'll have to wait and see for the Bulldogs.
He's got one-on-one to the near side of the field here. See if maybe he doesn't try to go that way.
Gillespie, he is out wide to the right. Oh, and they're coming, and they've sacked Schaefer. Back at the 30. Wow, was he in there? Ben Elser, he came in and just took down Schaefer. He didn't have a chance, and the Bulldogs going to have to punt it away.
And that's the responsibility of the back to pick up that blitz on that side, and he just missed it. It was a fake handoff, and it looked like he was going to sprint to the right and go to that receiver that had single coverage on the near side. And the blitz came from there, and nobody picked him up, and he went down in a heap. They start the drive out around the 50-yard line, and they're pinned back about 20.
Salem kicks it out of bounds. So Harding's going to have excellent field position to start this drive, and the Raiders on top 7-0 with 2:11 to go here in the opening quarter.
See, and Phil, when you're playing a good team like Harding, you can't let these situations go by. When they force the turnover, you got to take advantage of it. And instead, now everything collapsed. Now you give the ball back to Harding at midfield.
Well, we've watched the Harding offensive line push McKinley pretty much all over the field here, and boy, nobody in sight. 35-30, off to the races for the touchdown. Thaddeus Walker, nobody touched him, and he will go in for the score. And the Raiders on top, 13-0 with 2:11 remaining here in the opening quarter. Wow.
Look at here. Look at the blocks downfield. Great job by the receiver. Up there's a flag. Looks like she's going to come back. Manningham with a great block there, and Walker got up the sideline, and he was gone.
Maybe that's why it was so open.
Yeah.
Saw the flag coming early, and they're going to mark it off against the Raiders. So the Bulldogs dodge a bullet here. They'll mark it back to the 45. Yeah, they got some quick backs. That'll bring up first down and 17. This time Sparks along with Manningham. Out to the right. This time they go out once again. They've had a lot of success inside and outside, and Delbert Ferguson able to get back to that original line of scrimmage and maybe just a yard or two past it. So a nice run by Ferguson, and he's had a nice first quarter.
Yeah, he sure has. Matt Mann with the good block up front, 5'11", 212-pound junior. And he just breaks tackles. There's nobody there, first of all, to stop him at the line of scrimmage. Makes a nice cut inside. They just can't stay with him here in the early going.
Second down and 8, so give Ferguson 9 on that carry. Close to that first down marker again inside the 40.
Number 8, Thaddeus Walker.
As Thaddeus Walker, who took it the distance just a moment ago, but the penalty erased the long gainer and the touchdown. But Walker near that first down marker, about a half-yard shy.
Look at the linebackers are nowhere to be found here. And he makes a nice cut across the grain. Pretty good block there by Dante Campbell, 6'1", 262-pound junior. But they're getting into the secondary. The linebackers are getting blown out. Defensive line handled easily. And the corners are having to come up too quickly to make the stops 8-10 yards downfield.
Third down and about a half-yard now for Harding. First down and much, much more for Ferguson. Inside the 35.
Number 3, Delbert Ferguson.
They'll mark it at about the 32-yard line. First down and 10. Another first down for Harding. An impressive first quarter. It's been all Raiders.
Off tackle, he cuts up inside, slips a tackle there, takes it down for a first down. Good blocking again across the front. Lonnie McDonald, offensive tackle, 5'8", 273, a senior with a good block.
First down and 10. Ball at the 32. The fake, and going to throw it, and that is wide open and not able to stay on his feet. He had a lot of room. Jonte Stroud caught one earlier tonight. He's wide open, but slipped up and give him maybe a yard after he caught the pass. So it's second down and 9, and the clock ticking here, winding down here in the opening quarter.
Boy, Phil, and look at, he would have had about 10 yards had he been able to keep his feet.
That is the end of the first quarter here from Malakoff Stadium. It's been all Warren Harding, 7-0 on the year, trying to stay undefeated after one. Raiders 7 and the Bulldogs nothing. For the McKinley Bulldogs, impressive so far.
8 first downs in that first quarter. And leading 7-0, a touchdown called back of some 48 yards. But they have manhandled McKinley here in the first quarter.
2nd down and 9. Going to keep it himself, and again, not much room. Maybe got back to the line of scrimmage. Thaddeus Walker. It's going to be 3rd and long, and boy, they haven't been able to stop Harding, but right now, if you're able to come up with a stop here mentally and get yourself back into the game.
They ate him alive, Phil, on this play. He had nowhere to go. And speaking of eating things, that Papa John's Pizza was outstanding for the pregame meal. 1976 Elm Road, and they have an outstanding special going on.
Choose a large one for $10.99, and we had a cut, but when we got here, there's only a few pieces left.
Yeah, right.
But it was still very, very good. Those guys in the truck and women. But Papa John's going deep and open and touchdown. Oh my! This time able to hook up with the old Finnessy. 3rd down and long. And the touchdown toss to Finnessy. He was wide open. Just take your pick.
Yeah, really a poor job in the secondary. No heat at all by the front line of McKinley. He was able to sprint out a little bit and set himself and launch it down there. Nobody within 5 yards on the coverage. An easy touchdown toss.
So Spain will come in and tax on the extra point. And just like that, a couple nice defensive plays by the Bulldogs, and they let one slip away. And again, head coach Brian Cross had mentioned that we just have to stay away from penalties and from giving Warren Harding the big plays, going 30 or 40 yards, and they've done it a couple of times tonight. The first one, a long run, called back on a penalty. Here, a couple of guys wide open in the end zone, and Finnessy able to come up with the touchdown catch, and it's 14-0.
We've seen some long runs ripped off, and they're just tearing them up front. No help from anywhere. It's really they're putting on a clinic. And this could be a blowout unless McKinley fastens up those bootstraps, tightens them up, and gets out after it. See, and that ball actually, Phil, that ball was thrown behind him. He had to come back for it in the end zone. That's how wide open he was.
Deep for the Bulldogs, number 24.
Deep for the Bulldogs, number 24, Christian Smith. Also number 3, Ryan Brinson, the speed demon at 5'10", 170-pound junior. He is number 3. And boy, another fine kick. That drives Brinson a few yards deep into the end zone, and the Bulldogs are going to have to start on their own 20. And it's Warren Harding on top, 14-0 with 11:17 to go here in the first half. Boy, you had to get your Raider gear. I'm talking about T-shirts, sweatshirts, gloves, watches, hats, ponchos, much, much more. Now, to purchase these items, go to the cafeteria deliveries entrance beyond the high school. Open 7 a.m. till 2:30 p.m. weekdays. All profits go to the MH Youth Organization Student Activities Fund. Darla Banks heads up this fine nonprofit program, and the funds go back into the school for the students. So get your Raider gear. Yep. And really, now is the time. You know, everybody jumps on the bandwagon. When the team's doing well, everybody wants to wear the Raiders gear. You can get it right there at the high school, 7 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. weekdays. I may
get yourself
although we don't need one tonight.
You got the 2 kids?
That's right.
That Raider gear looked good out there in Copley.
That's right. Indians, Raiders, and Speaking of Copley and some of the other teams, of course, we talked about the City Series a little bit. Boy, Buchtel and Garfield, the class once again you mentioned, both teams at 4-0 to come down to that final game. In the Suburban League, you've got a tight race. Green, Wadsworth up on top. First down, not anywhere to go, and is dropped down inside the 20-yard line. But boy, when you take a look at some of the teams, as we head now into the final few weeks of the season, getting ready for the playoffs, you take a look at Portage County League with Mogador always there. And this is Scott Pollock, the head coach, his final season. He's been there 16 or 17 years. As we talk about coaches that have been in the area for a long time, he's calling it quits. He told me he just wants to spend, more time with the family. And people don't realize, especially at the high school level, in all sports, you devote an awful lot of time.
Yeah.
So it is third down. And that one is incomplete. And the Bulldogs, tough going here as Schaefer was looking for Raymar Morgan. Nice size for Morgan at 6'4", 180-pound sophomore, but you gotta pull it in when you have an opportunity here when it goes off your fingertips.
And Phil, that was open right there. Had he caught that ball, he had a lane and could have gotten into the secondary, maybe 25, 30 yards downfield, and drops the ball.
Ball hits just inside the 50, and the Raiders with 9:13 to go here in the first half going to get the ball back once again, and they lead it 14-0. We saw a couple of good ball teams last night in Hoban and Walsh. Looks like Hoban will go to the playoffs, and you take a look at all the fine teams in the area. And we take a look at Warren. Maybe this year for the Raiders to win the state title.
They've got a couple of regular season games left, and I believe next week they travel to Massillon to take on the Tigers. And of course, the Tigers lost last night, and then they finish out the season against Austintown Fitch, both on the road.
First down and 10 for Harding. The ball at the Bulldogs 49. Hand off to Davis. Boy, nice little hole there. Got to the 45 and a couple of more yards, maybe to the 43, and that's going to bring up second down and 4. And I'm taking a look at Richard Davis. You certainly have Delbert Ferguson has been sensational early on here. They just one after another.
Yep.
This is Davis's turn now in the backfield, and he's able to get about 5 on that carry.
Second back pops through, and nobody touches him for 4 or 5 yards downfield. And again, a lot of credit goes to those big guys right up front.
Second down and 5. Ingram going to take it himself, turns it up, able to get the first down. A nice run by Alex Ingram. So you have all the backs, and then Ingram also has done a nice job throwing the ball, and he's run a couple of times tonight. So that's a first down for the Raiders.
Number 10 on the night. Nice tackle by Antoine Height, 6'3", 285 junior for the McKinley Bulldogs. He prevents him from getting up. Big number 84. Watch him come from there behind there and pull him down before he can get up the sideline for an additional 10.
Well, they're going to look like he had the first down, but they're going to bring the chains in. 8:11 to go here in the first half. It is 14-0 Raiders. They had one touchdown called back because of a penalty. The Bulldogs really haven't been able to move the ball on offense. Couple of decent runs, and you had mentioned too the one little swing pass was open, so they're able to maybe work on a couple of things next time they get the ball. But on defense, that offensive line of Harding.
Yep, just controlling things.
First down and
And again, not a good job by the linebacking crew of McKinley. They're not filling the holes. The defensive front is getting beat. The linebackers got to fill those holes. That's why they're ripping off 5, 6, 8 yards of crack.
First down and 10. Fennessy in motion right to left. Going to swing it out here to Davis. He's to the 35 and the 30. Inside that we have a flag down as he was dropped inside the 30.
Number 16, Alex Ingram pass. He's completed the number
Ingram to Alex English.
Back on the play by number 9, Adam Studenic. There's a penalty flag.
Dante Campbell got out and threw a pretty good block there. 6'1", 262 and a junior. This is the same play that they actually had the fumble and the turnover with. A little flip into the flat. And he gets behind that good block there, cuts outside. Not sure where the penalty. The flag actually came a few yards downfield.
So Davis not only can run the ball, pretty nice hands as he's able to pull that one in and pick up a nice gainer, but the penalty against Harding.
First down and 10.
Over 200 yards now in total offense for Harding here in the first half.
7:15, the clock running here in the second quarter. This time Ingram, he's going to get under center. Pitches it back to Davis this time. Open room, stiff arm, and taken out of bounds at the 33.
Tackle to play by number 9, Adam.
Good stiff arm as he tried to turn the corner there. Picked up an additional 4 yards after the stiff arm. Got him right on the helmet there.
Adam Studenic, number 9, able to bring him down at the end of this play.
Second down and 6. Ball's at 33 yards.
Second down and 6. Keep talking about it, but you just, if you're on the sideline for the Canton McKinney Bulldogs, you really just like to see the defense make one stop here, get the ball, even if you're down 14-0 at halftime, maybe something to build on, but they've gotten burned a couple of times, some big plays. This time, once again, Richard Davis, the ball carrier, picked up 4 yards. It's going to be third down and a couple as they move it near the 30.
Davis had the first touchdown for Harding tonight. Good push outside, and then he cut back inside as we have a Harding player down on the field.
I kind of like to see that we talked about the kicker, Joe Spain, 5'9", 150 pounds. He's got quite a leg. I mean, last year he was 46 of 48 in extra points, 5 or 6 field goals, and of course this would be a long. I just like to see him get out there and give it a shot from 40 yards or so. But we watched him drill the ball pre-game here into the end zone, and once again the injured player on the field. So 14-0 in favor of the Raiders over the Canton McKinley Bulldogs, and we're not used to it with Canton McKinley being at 2-5. Usually you're talking maybe the reverse record of 5-2 or 6-1 going into a ball game like this. They've had so many great years.
It's up to the Penguins defense.
Better get their act together in a hurry, because that is a very tough league. And in fact, on their schedule they had quite a few opponents this year from the Federal League, and they've struggled against them, as they lost to Perry and Jackson earlier in the season.
Yep.
And they're going to have to get things turned around in a hurry, otherwise that league will blow you away. It's a tough league.
Coming off the field is the outstanding running back Richard Davis, being helped off the field.
Third down and 2.
Bulldogs panting. A lot of work for the Bulldogs tonight. Go get some water. Third down and a couple. And again, for the Bulldogs, you're a Cam McKinley fan. You like to see him make a stop here and try to get some momentum. They haven't really been able to get anything going on offense tonight. Defense not able to do it. But right there, able to stick him in the backfield. Delbert Ferguson got it, and he was hit.
Jack on the play by number 74.
Maybe lost a yard on the play, so it's going to bring up 4th down and 4 for Warren Harding.
4th down and 4.
Wow, they came right in there. Led by Earl Ogletree. Really a nice job.
Timeout Raiders.
Timeout Raiders. They lead at 14-0 with 6:17 to go. The ball is at the 32-yard line with 4th and 4.
Pretty long field goal for Spain at this point.
Yeah, this might be a little out of his range.
November 4th, General.
But at the 32, come up with a play here. It looks like you may have lost. It's hard to say, but Davis being carried off the field, number 27. May have lost Richard Davis for the remainder of tonight's game. Let's certainly hope he's all right to finish out the season.
Yeah, they actually had to carry him off the field.
Davis, a senior, and is terrific. But again, they have 3 or 4 very, very solid backs for Harding.
He's had a good first half here. Again, I mentioned before he had the 1 touchdown. At 18-20, he got 38 yards on the ground.
If you have any questions,
8 carries.
call Cheryl Walker Brown.
And he gets it done. He's a tough back that goes in between the tackles. Shown a little bit of speed, can bounce outside.
Next Friday night, Youngstown Ursuline at Cardinal Mooney. We'll have that ball game for you here on Time Warner Cable. And October 24th, St. Vincent St. Mary against Walsh Jesuit. We saw the Warriors last night, Jerry Reardon's ball club, going up against feisty St. Vincent St. Mary bunch led by Jay Brophy. 4th down and 4. Straight back in the pocket all the time. Now flushed out, looking for that first down marker. He is hit, dropped, but it looks as if he had enough for the first down as Alex Ingram once again carries the ball and got 4, perhaps 5 yards on the carry. He needed 4.
Antoine Hyatt with a stop, but not quick enough, and that was a key possession here to maybe hold them and keep them off the scoreboard for the remainder of the half. 4th down and 4, but scrambles around, able to pick up the first down and keep the drive alive. That's number 11 for them now here in the first half. And a touchdown here, Phil, would put them up 21-0, and the way McKinley is operating, it'd be tough to come back against Harding.
I thought I saw a flag on the field, but may have picked up that flag. And 14-0, as you had mentioned, in favor of Warren Harding. Big, big crowd on hand tonight.
You know what, too, we noticed, Phil, is McKinley's numbers have really got to be down this year. I'm really surprised. You know, normally they've got a pretty good-sized squad as far as number of kids out for the team, and it's definitely down.
A penalty marked off. So what penalty on the play?
4th down and 9.
4th down and 9 as they mark 5 yards off against Harding. This time Sparks, he is out wide to the right, single coverage, and Mario Manningham is out to the left. In motion is Finnessy, left to right. Little pass out. Got a block and then some, and then dropped right past, I believe, that first down marker.
Mario Manningham.
Manningham came up, he got it, made a nice little run, picked up about 10, and that is enough for the first down.
So 4th and 4, they pick up the first down by about a yard or 2. They get penalized. Now 4th and 8, and they pick up those 8 yards and an additional 2.
He does a nice job after catching the ball. But you had mentioned when we saw Cam McKinley come out bunched up, and if you were surprised, I was surprised. It didn't seem like the numbers there for the Bulldogs as they spread out on the sideline a little bit bigger, but appears the numbers are down for the Bulldogs this year. First down carry, hit at the line of scrimmage, still on his feet, the little stiff arm. And Ferguson does a nice job after initially hit at the line of scrimmage.
He shakes 3 tackles right at the line of scrimmage and then bounces outside for a nice gain.
Malik Abdul-Zahir on the tackle, but boy, hit right there, got to wrap him up and bring him down.
1, 2, another guy coming in, 3, shake and bake move there and misses him.
Got another 3 or 4 yards, so it's 2nd down and 3. Really, play like that would have gone maybe for a yard or 2, and it goes for 7. 2nd down and 3, 6:16 to go here in the first half, and the Raiders on top, 14-0. We do have a timeout on the field, trying to get his ball club fired up. Once again, Brian Cross, first season overall, 146 and 78. Was a head coach at Grove City High School for 16 years. He talked about the intensity. A couple of times on the phone when I was talking to him, he said, you know, we got to get the team going. At times we play really pretty well. and we get strong. And it seems tonight, just a little bit, they've had some pretty good plays, and then all of a sudden little mental lapses here and there. The touchdown, the long run for a touchdown was called back, and then also another touchdown pass, Finney wide open in the end zone.
One thing about high school football too, Phil, you can recover in a hurry. You get a good class coming up of youngsters and start to build on that, and they can get healthy in a hurry. May not be this year, obviously, with a 2-5 start, trying to finish strong here, but they've got some talented underclassmen here with some kids coming along. It won't be too long before he's got this program back where it was.
Ingram in the shotgun, 2nd down and 3 for Harding, and pulls it out of Ferguson's gut, takes it himself, and he goes down maybe a couple of yards back, loses a couple on that play, so it's going to bring up now 3rd down. And long for Harding.
Well, maybe that tongue lashing he got through to some guys there as they came fired up that time. Looks like they shot the outside linebacker, able to gobble him up and drop him for a loss. Earl Ogletree on that stop, 6 foot, 194 and a senior.
3rd down and 8. The Raiders have had success on the ground and through the air. Able to hook up with wide receivers, a couple of nice ones for Harding and Manningham and Sparks. We'll see what they do here. They line up in the eye, 3rd down and 8. Straight back in the pocket, Ingram, and that one is incomplete, and he had some blockers out in front of him trying to dump it off to Delbert Ferguson, and could have had the 1st down and more on that play, but it falls incomplete. 4th down and 8.
They had the screen set up over there to the left, but watch on just a 3-man rush, putting some heat on there. Of course, they're going to let him come through because they're setting the screen up, but Antoine Height got there pretty quick, and a poorly thrown ball here. Now you're going to see Spain go to work.
All right. We're going to see him try. It's going to be about a 41-yard field goal.
Timeout goal.
Set it down at about the 31. Make it 41. We have a timeout on the field with 5:15 to go here in the first half. So something positive here on defense with the Bulldogs, able to come up with a decent defensive stand.
He may be talking to, just kind of heads up, watch for the fake. Because at this point, this would be a nice stand. 14-0. Get the football back. It looked like the drive was going to be completed for another 7 and really bury the Bulldogs here. But at a good stand here, now forcing a very long field goal. He wants to make sure everybody's heads up. Watch for that fake.
Sparks, the holder. And once again, Joe Spain, the kicker, has been terrific for Harding. He's a senior. 41-yard try. Snap is good. The kick is up, and the kick is
no good.
No good.
Right on target, just a little short.
5 minutes and 10 seconds left in the half.
So again, you talked about it. Able to keep him off the board on that drive, and the Bulldogs will take over with 5:10 to go here in the first half. And a couple of things they can work on maybe to get a drive going.
Good stand here by McKinley's defense. Very good. They had a lot of things go against them here. Now they've got the football back. And hopefully, just up to this point, Phil, only 1 first down, and that was off the very first play that they had from scrimmage, the first time they had the football, way back in the early part of the first quarter. Since then, they have been shut out first downs and not much ground game.
So they take over. First down and 10 to the 20, 25, out across the 30, and that's that Ryan Brinson, number 3. Nice gain on first down. They're going to mark it right about the 30-yard line. Looks to be a first down and 10 for the Bulldogs.
Thomas Marchie gets out quickly as he pulled on that play on the deep pitch to Brinson. Got a good block, 5'11", 240-pound senior. And you see Brinson lower his shoulder. Excellent run by the junior.
Schaefer, the quarterback, first back through, keeping his feet moving. Maybe a couple of yards, so it's going to bring up second down and 8, 4:12 clock running here in the first half.
34, Mike Kirksey, the ball carrier.
Mike Kirksey, the ball carrier for Canton McKinley on that one. The fullback, he's 5'9", 180-pound sophomore, so he's got a couple of years left. So Kirksey as that fullback, good size at 180 pounds, and then you also have Brinson at that running back position, trying to mix it up just a little bit. 2nd down and 7, so they gave him 3 on that carry. Schaefer under center. Brinson in motion, second back through. It's open, 40 to the 45, a first down and more inside Harding territory. A nice run by Mark Jackson. We've called his name a couple of times tonight, and each time it's certainly been positive. A big gainer, taking it into Raider territory.
Well, we talked about it before, and there's a beautiful kick-out block right there. Some misdirection, Phil, and they certainly had it on this one. Got everybody faked out, and in comes Jackson on the inside handoff. They got the good block there, boy, and he got out there to the secondary, and they crossed midfield in good shape.
Jackson out wide to the right, and Tyrone Gillespie up tight here to the left. They line up in the I. 1st down and 10. They'll mark it at the 49. Schaefer back in the pocket. Here comes the rush, and he is going to go down inside the 40.
Number 13, Mike Schaefer, a sack on the play by number 12, Anthony Hope.
Anthony Hope came in and able to dump Schaefer right at the 40-yard line, so it's a big loss.
That's tough, too. This kid can throw the football. He just has not had any time whatsoever.
Well, he was rolling away from the pursuit, and Hoke did a nice job, able to bring him down right at the 40, so it's going to be 2nd down and 21. Schaefer gets the call from the sidelines.
They get 3 or 4 nice plays, and then you have the big sack. Tears them back. Got to give Harding's defense a lot of credit, and this is the way they've played the entire season.
2nd down and long. Got to pitch it out this time. Not much running room for Brinson. Got a couple of yards up near the 43, but it's going to be 3rd down and 18 with 2:45 and the clock rolling here in the first half.
2 minutes and 13 seconds left in the half.
There's a quick look at the great penetration on the part of Harding's front line to get the linebacker to make him cut back to the inside. And he got plenty of help. Stroud comes over to finish it off there. 6'1", 211, and a senior makes the stop.
Jackson again split out wide to the right. Gillespie to the left. 3rd down and long. 3rd and about 18. Try to get that screen set up, and it's 50, 45, 40. Gillespie, 30, 25, 20, finally hammered out of bounds inside the 20 as Gillespie taking the Schaefer pass over the middle, and that opened up, and he took it to the right side.
Wow.
A big gainer.
Watch these moves, too. Beautiful cut there, and swings out to the outside, and it's a foot race. Just 5'5", and his little legs were churning.
1st down and 10.
Great individual effort, and that time Schaefer got a little bit of protection and opened up big time for the Bulldogs.
1st down and 10 for Canton McKinley, and the ball at Harding's 18-yard line. To the 15, still on his feet, to the 10, inside the 10. It looks like it's going to be close to another 1st down. Ryan Brinson, the workhorse, again, 10 or 11 yards.
Well, he gets some good blocking downfield by that front line, and then he picks his holes, weaves in, bobs and weaves and cuts, and finds a little bit of space. Excellent kick-out block there again. And he's had a good job on the offensive line there. Thomas Marchie, 5'11", 240 senior.
Well, if Canton McKinley can put it in the end zone, it would be very interesting at 14-7, because Harding has outplayed McKinley for much of this first half. 2nd down and 1, ball at the 9. Schaefer, he's going to pass it in the flat, wide open, touchdown, and the McKinley Bulldogs. Antoine Height, the tight end, 6'3", 285-pound junior, wide open, able to bring it in, and the Bulldogs on the scoreboard scored. Wow, 14-6 with 1:06 to go here in the opening half.
How about that? Slips out there in the flat, nobody covering him, and just turns around and goes right in. Great play call. Here we were talking, McKinley buried that, and they make the big stop defensively and go right down the field for 6.
Extra point is up, and it is good. John Dickerson putting it through, and it is 14-7 with just over a minute to go here in the first half. Both teams, well, Canton McKinley with 1 timeout and Harding with 2, but the Raiders had it going their way much of this first half, and really a nice drive by McKinley to get right back in the ball game. And you said it, I think, maybe the little chat by the head coach not too long ago sparked this ball club.
Well, he used the timeout to let him have it, and that's where it started, was the good defensive stand. I was figuring Harding was going to take it in there and push this thing out to 21-0, and it was going to be a rough go the rest of the evening, but they got the stand, and then we saw some misdirection. The offensive line did a great job of blocking on this series, both giving Schaefer some protection and also moving Harding's good defensive wall right off of the ball. They went right down the field to put 7 up. We got ourselves a football game.
14-7. Beautiful night for high school football. Next week, we'll have Youngstown Ursuline, Youngstown Cardinal Mooney Friday night. And October 24th, Akron St. Vincent St. Mary at Walsh Jesuit. Some big games coming up on Time Warner Cable. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do here. A little over a minute to go. You got a couple of timeouts, 1:10 to go, and you have pretty good field position at the 36.
And a good quarterback that can get that football downfield. In fact, we've seen Walker and Ingram tonight. Combined, they are 6 of 7 through the air.
Manningham, single coverage. He's out wide to the right. Again, a nice defensive stand by the Bulldogs. The missed field goal just short from 41 yards out. Quarterback's going to take it himself across the 40. Good push up front. Able to get to 8 or 9 yards. And then the Bulldogs take over and take it in for the score and the touchdown pass, and it's 14-7. The clock continues to run with 41 seconds. I'm a bit surprised. Maybe not use a timeout. They're near midfield at the 44 right now. Little pass to the outside, and that one is incomplete. So it's going to be 3rd down and 2.
Defending on the play, number 24, Christian.
Well, they would have been in business had he been able to come up with that ball. They'd have been right out of their past midfield in good shape here with still a couple of timeouts, but the pass comes up a little bit short. He was open too, right at midfield.
3rd down, a couple for the Harding Raiders. 33 seconds to go here in the first half. Harding on top, 14-7. Going to try it again. He's going to get that first down and much more. Now inside Bulldog territory as Alex Ingram carries it once again. Got to move the chains. They're going to mark it at the 48, 28 seconds, 1st down and 10.
And Harding's going to take a timeout here to talk it over. You know, you figure too, Phil, from this spot, if they can get maybe another 15, 20 yards, you're certainly within Joe Spain's range as far as field goals. And I think that's what they're thinking now, and possibly pop something open. They've got the speedsters there. And again, for the most of the first half here, they have really dominated play, both through the air and on the ground.
2-8-4-5.
And they do have one remaining timeout. Both teams have a timeout remaining, so you can do just about anything.
Right.
Keep in the middle of the field, and
if they get 10 or 12 on a pass down the middle, 15 down the middle of the field, takes time to move the change. They can hold on to that timeout and then again go with the next play down the middle. So they're in good shape here. They can do a lot of things.
28 seconds remaining here in the first half. Band getting ready to come out on the field. Be careful because don't want to come out there too early. Had that happen in the college game one time, remember?
Yep. Was that Colorado State?
Straight back in the pocket. Little swing pass, 45, 40, still on his feet to the 35, elusive Mario Manningham. And that is another first down, and they will stop the clock to move the chains. 20 seconds, remember, one timeout to go. First down and 10, ball at the 33. Gonna spike it. 17 seconds on the clock and bring up second down and 10. Just what you talked about. Move the chains. You've got some time here. 17 seconds. Still a timeout to go to save in case you want to get that field goal unit in. And you know they've had some guys wide open. That touchdown pass in the end zone.
And that hitch route really opened up nicely. That offensive line of Harding's, which is outstanding. Off of the hitch pass, gets out there and really threw a couple of nice blocks. He cut inside those blocks, got down the middle of the field for a big gainer. They need something similar, about the same kind of yardage, to put Spain in good position for a field goal.
Second down and 10 for Harding. Ingram, the quarterback, swings it on out. 5, 6, 7, maybe 8 yards on that catch. Joe Finnessy in motion. Cutting across, getting the pass, getting out of bounds. 14 seconds on the clock. Doing a nice job of moving the ball here.
Second down and 7.
Join me and Joe Finan every afternoon from 3 to 7 on the Talk of Akron, 100 FM WNIR. So still they've been able to save that one timeout. This time Manningham is out wide to the left and Pete Sparks out to the right, single coverage. Second down and 7 in the shotgun now. Ingram straight back in the pocket, looks to the left side, and it is incomplete.
Ingram's pass is intended for number 1.
Took 4 seconds off the clock, down to 10.
Well, he had Stroud on a curl route right down around the 20-yard line. And he rifled it in there. He could have turned up for at least another 5, maybe 7 yards and used the timeout to get that field goal done. He concentrated on getting the ball to the outside receiver and missed the man open.
Ball at the 29-yard line, fourth down and 7. 10 seconds to go here in the first half. Ingram back in the pocket, rifles it, caught at the 5, down to the 3-yard line.
Number 16, Alex Ingram.
Jonte Stroud able to come up with that one with 4 seconds remaining. Timeout, Harding. That's their final timeout for the Raiders.
Great protection and a beautifully thrown ball right in there, and a great leaping catch.
Jonte Stroud coming down with it.
Abdul Zahir with the touchdown saving tackle, 5'9", 160-pound senior in the secondary.
So Spain now into try and make it a 17-7 score after the Bulldogs fought so hard defensively and then offensively to get back into this ball game. But with just over a minute to go, a nice drive by Warren Harding to set up this field goal try. It'll be just about like an extra point. Sparks the holder, and he's got it right at the 10. The kick is up, and the kick is good. And that is the final play of this first half. So an impressive drive by the Bulldogs to cut the lead to 14-7. And then Harding goes down to kick the field goal. And that's your halftime score. Warren Harding 17, Canton McKinley 7. Back with the second half in just a minute.
Tonight's exciting Northeast Ohio high school football action is brought to
McKinley Bulldogs really closed strong. As you can see, the statistics dominated by the Raiders. The key right there, obviously, is the 136 yards passing. Quarterbacks did a great job moving the football through the air.
Offense, and possibly Harding could have been up by another 7 or 10 points, but it is 17-7.
And McKinley's made it a ball game here. Yeah, you mentioned Ingram with 21 yards on the ground and 133 yards through the air. So he has been very impressive through the one touchdown pass. Schaefer, on the other hand, 2 of 4 for McKinley, just does not have the protection. And he had a total 49 yards. So
the running game, you know, for Harding, Richard Davis, we talked an awful lot about the 6 foot 190-pound senior in the second quarter, helped off the field. May not see him anymore tonight. Let's hope he's okay for certainly for the next few games and into the state playoffs. But really rushing, they've got 2 or 3 guys they can go to. Really haven't missed them too much.
Right. And Walker's filled in at quarterback, and he had a couple of nice runs too. So he can carry a ball. They have a multitude of running backs that they can plug in there that can carry the ball and be effective. And of course, that offensive line has always been dominant, as they were here in the first half, and we expect it to do the same here in the second half.
Delbert Ferguson for Warren Harding, 6 carries, 48 yards, 8 yards a carry. And we mentioned Richard Davis carried the ball 8 times for 34 yards. Alex Ingram, 5 for 21 yards on the other side of the ball for McKinley. Mark Jackson, 2 carries, 28 yards, and Ryan Brinson, 4 carries for 22 yards. Schaefer, really the quarterback for McKinley, hasn't had much time to get back and set up and throw the ball.
Well, as you mentioned, there's Davis coming out there.
Good sign.
Still, limping a little bit. We'll have to see if he'll be carrying the football. You know, with the Raiders going so well, Phil, you want to get out there and get your Raider gear, and they have a lot of stuff that you can purchase.
The Raiders. Oh, yeah, you got to love it. Get your Raider gear, T-shirts, sweatshirts, gloves, watches, hats. They've got it all. Ponchos. Going to need it there. Got rain coming up here and probably snow and much, much more. And to purchase these items, you can go to the cafeteria deliveries entrance. That is behind the school, open bright and early, 7 a.m. until 2:30 p.m. weekdays. And all profits go to the MH Youth Organization Student Activities Fund and Darla Banks. All right, Darla heads up this fine nonprofit program. The funds go back into the school for the students. Got to get your Raider gear. And they have been playing sensational throughout the year. 7-0 coming into tonight's game, and really the fans haven't had to get up really on their feet tonight, because it has been Warren Harding. They've been dominant in this ball game. You take a look at the scoreboard, and the Bulldogs hanging around.
Yep. Played pretty well for a couple minutes span towards the end of the second quarter, and able to pull within a touchdown, but then they let the drive slip away on the part of Harding to get down into field goal range. In fact, they almost gave up the touchdown on the deep ball. They nailed the receiver right at about the 3-yard line.
Number 3, Ryan Brinson, deep for McKinley. Also number 24, Christian Smith. He is back deep for McKinley. John Flaminio, the kicker. He does the kicking here on the kickoffs and kicks it deep once again to the goal line as Brinson takes it out to the 10, maybe to the 11-yard line, but again just out to about the 16. But it started early and started this way for McKinley early on when Brinson really could not manage to even get out to the 20. McKinley started off slowly, able to gain some momentum. They did have a nice defensive stand late in the first half, and the missed field goal just short from 41 yards out, and the Bulldogs took over, went downfield to score on a touchdown pass to make it 14-7. Then with just over a minute to go in that first half, Warren Harding took the ball downfield and able to kick a short field goal to make it 17-7. So just underway here in the third quarter. Nice run up to the 25 and beyond. So Theo Goodright, nice run on that first down carry.
Well, he faked the handoff. He gave it to the back on the quick dive and faked it to the back, Brinson, coming out to the outside. A good trap block inside. Boy, that opened up nicely. So a good start here for the McKinley Bulldogs.
Talked about that quick dive. That's usually what you do when we go to Quaker Square.
Oh, yeah.
Outstanding, because once a check comes, but it isn't that much. That's what I'm trying to say. Out there at the whistle stop with the prime rib, and oh, that's 10. What is it? 10.95.
10.95. Yep.
Yeah, you should be able to afford that.
Get your choice of 8-ounce prime rib or strip steak.
Entertainment. It's just a great evening out. Another hole opens up and another nice run, and looks like another first down. Ryan Brinson able to take it out to about the 39-yard line. Another first down for the Bulldogs, keeping it on the ground. So you got the whistle stop there at Quaker Square. You also have the Pie Factory. We've talked about it before. $7.95 on the weekends. Take the kids, get to keep the pie after you bake it, and also the apron. Always a fun time. So the Bulldogs coming out on the ground.
Look at the quick feet of Brinson. Busts a tackle. Nice little cut here. Dips outside. Slips a tackle. Keeps the legs moving. Excellent run. Bulldogs off to a good start.
First down and 10. They'll set up now in the I. Mike Schaefer is the quarterback. They're going to keep it on the ground, and again to Brinson, and Brinson cracks through for another 3, possibly about 3 yards. So it's going to bring up second down and 7.
Going to play for number 32.
Good block by Big Joe Mascarello. 6'2", 328-pound senior. And he told me that you're going to take him to the whistle stop for that prime rib.
He might have a couple, though. I might be in, well,
exactly.
Still, 10.95, you can't beat it. I might do that. Second down and 7, Brinson. Just got about 3 yards. Again in the first half, 4 carries, 22 yards. He's averaging about 5.5 a carry. Second down and 7. Now Schaefer looks to go to the air, but the pressure is on. Flushed out of the pocket, throws deep, and that is tipped up and incomplete. And really a nice job down field by 87 Mark Jackson. He realized he didn't have a shot at it. Looked like he just tried to bat the ball out of bounds, preventing the interception.
Got little play action here. Brinson picks up the block there, but then it all breaks down, and Schaefer once again running for his life and just fires it down in there into congestion, and the ball knocked out of bounds. Luckily, it wasn't picked off for the Bulldogs.
Bulldogs having some success on the ground here in the opening drive of the second half. Third down and 7. The crowd getting a little bit louder now on the Harding side of the field. Third down and 7. Schaefer in the shotgun. Here comes the pressure. He fumbles the ball, and it is picked up by the Harding Raiders. Boy, they came at him, and Schaefer fumbled the ball, and the Raiders take over at the 30.
Phil, I thought for sure they came through there that they were setting up a screen. I don't think anybody threw a block there. And punching the ball out of his hand, and the big mistake there, but he was under a lot of heat. What a very poor job of the offensive line on that play for McKinley. I was looking for the back there. I thought they were going to lob a screen. He had 5 guys in the backfield before he even had the snap.
So Davis back in the game, and he gets about 5 on that carry. I'm a bit surprised. He was shaken up late, or in that second quarter, helped off the field. They have really 2, 3, 4 outstanding backs, but comes right back out, and he's going to start now in the second half. Richard Davis gets about 5 on that first down carry.
Second down and 5, the ball's on the 25-yard line.
Delbert Ferguson in the backfield along with Davis, so it is second down and 5. In motion, left to right is Mario Manningham. Davis again, the ball carrier, and gets a first down inside the 20 to the 19.
Well, we're going back to the first half of play where the Harding offensive front's taking control once again. 2 quick hitters there. Big holes opened up, and into the secondary he goes.
First down and 10.
Got about 5 before 6 yards before he's brought down. First down and 10. Ball at the Bulldogs 19 after Canton McKinley just turned it over on the fumble. This time Manningham and Pete Sparks, twin receivers out to the right. Again in the backfield you have the pitch back to Davis, and Davis with the penalty marker down, and Davis goes down, but another nice gainer.
Yep, flag right in the midst of that. McKinley was running that 3-4 fill, and those linebackers are just getting peeled, and they're nowhere to be found on these runs. We had the same problem in the first half. See, you get the pitch out. He gets the blockers out in front of him. Makes a nice cut here. Can't pick up where the flag. There it comes in there late.
To mark it all the way back to the 29. So again, the penalty against Harding.
Everything looks okay there.
First down and 20.
First down and 20. Harding able to go to the air. Alex Ingram, his favorite receiver. Stroud, he caught 3 in that first half. Fennessy a couple. Also Manningham and Sparks also with 2 receptions in that first half. So he's spreading it around. First down and 20. Straight back in the pocket. Setting it up. Swings it out to the 30, 25. Still on his feet near the 20. Delbert Ferguson out of the backfield. And a nice gainer on the first down.
Yeah, good screen set up there over on the short side of the field. That may have really been big had they come back to the other side. There he slips through, fakes like he's going to block. There's a nice little toss out in front. He's got a couple of blockers out in front of him, makes a nice cut, and puts up real good yardage.
8 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Harding on top, 17-7. Looking for more here. First possession for the Raiders here in the third quarter. Second down, they gave him 9, so it is second down and 11. Ingram looking all the way over here to Manningham. He's got it at the 15. Takes it near that first down marker. I think they're going to mark him out at about the 11. So Ingram hooks up this time with Manningham. It looks like a third down and maybe a yard.
Again, just a little hitch route there, and makes the catch, puts a couple of juke moves on, and turns upfield, and comes up close to the first down.
Charles Keenan to the press box. Charles Keenan, please report to the press box.
Third down and short. The up back is Ferguson, also in the backfield, Richard Davis. Manningham in motion left to right. Davis the ball carrier. Oh, he hits the 10, the 5, and taken down at about the 3, and it's going to be first down and goal. So Davis, the workhorse on this opening drive in the third quarter.
Actually had 2 holes to pick from here. One right there, one to his left. He chose the one to the right, makes a good cut there. First down, good blocking again up front by Harding.
Davis had 34 yards rushing in the first half. Of course, he was injured, but he's got about that here to start the third quarter. And they go to Davis again, and Davis goes into the end zone. And just like that, after the turnover, Harding takes it in and goes on top 23-7.
Well, the turnover comes back to haunt him. It looked like they were trying to put something together here to start the third quarter. I'm talking about the McKinley Bulldogs. And then the big turnover. And Harding takes it right down the field and puts 7 more up, and now once again has taken command of this football game.
Sparks, the holder in Spain, will try to make it 24-7. Plenty of leg. And it is up, and it is good. So the Raiders on top by the score of 24-7, just like they did to start the ball game. They moved the ball downfield for a score, and they capitalize. As you had mentioned, the Bulldogs are moving the ball on the ground, and the fumble, though, by the quarterback at the 30, and then the Raiders take it in, mainly because of Richard Davis on that drive, and it is 24-7 in favor of the Raiders with 7:22 to go here in the third quarter.
Harding's opening drive to start the football game, going 70 yards and primarily on the ground, throwing a couple of mixing a couple of passes in there, but you could see right then and there that the domination of the offensive line over the McKinley front wall was evident right in the first drive. Now they get the football back here on the turnover, and it looked like after the strong play towards the end of the first half, McKinley was going to get back into this, then the big mistake, and again coming back and controlling the football, going right down the field here in the nice drive and putting 7 more up, and now a nice comfortable 24-7 lead.
Flaminio kicks it deep once again right to the goal line. And so the Bulldogs, boy, he's got a leg too. You got Flaminio, you got
both of them.
Also also Joe Spain, the field goal kicker. And it's going to be first down and 10. Ball at the 20 to start this drive.
Not a happy group there on that McKinley sideline. The only thing that I could think of
Might make them
that'll
happy.
put a smile on their face is a Papa John's pizza.
No doubt about that.
A large one for $10.99 over there, and of course they're located at 1976 Elm Road. Phone number 330-372-9498, and they have outstanding pizza over there.
They don't skimp on the cheese and pepperonis and things. It is just delicious. First down carry, and boy, taken down. That play went nowhere and lost a few yards, about 4. So it's going to bring up second down and 14. And really, Harding has come out fired up on defense with that turnover, and then on offense they come in and score 7, and the Bulldogs now stunned just a bit.
Poor blocking on that sweep. Brinson had nowhere to go. And Mascarello, who's done a pretty good job tonight, missed his block that time on the sweep. Too many guys over there, and Harding able to throw Brinson for a big loss.
Not much to cheer about for the Bulldogs tonight. They did have the score late in the first half. Second down, and again, not much.
Well, that's that counter coming back inside. This time they run it with Brinson. It opened up nicely earlier in the ball game, but this time Harding looking for it, seals it before it can get started.
Third down and 14 deep in your own territory, and you're down 24-7. Take a look for maybe a safe type of pass. There one play in the second quarter. They had the wide receiver open, not a very good pass, but 5 yards or so, and maybe they'll hook up with a short pass and try to get something positive on this third down play. In the shotgun, straight back looking over the middle. Nobody's even looking for it except for the defender. Intended for Gillespie. And it falls incomplete. So Ken McKinley's going to have to punt the ball away, and the Raiders going to get excellent field position.
Joe Fenici actually almost had an interception there. 5'10", 165-pound senior almost comes up with the interception. And you were right, Phil. There was really nobody there on the part of McKinley, and a poor punt to boot.
And Harding will take over in McKinley territory at the 42. First down and 10 with 5 minutes and 33 seconds to go here in the third quarter. And it's 24-7. We're seeing Harding again 7-0 on the season. And they played very well tonight. A few penalties.
Yeah, I was going to mention that before. That's right. That's really been the biggest problem they've had. They had the one touchdown called back, and one that killed off a drive where they had big penalties and big plays, and of course that touchdown called back. Otherwise this one you may be able to put it in the books.
First down and 10 for the Raiders. Slips one tackle, and Delbert Ferguson able to get a couple of yards near the 40. Brings up second down and 8. That front line, can't say enough about that front line for Harding. Not many negative plays tonight.
Second down and 8.
It's always been 2 or 3 yards before the running back is even hit.
Yeah, they're getting good blocking. Dante Campbell, 6'1", 262, a junior. And then also Lonnie McDonald, 5'8", 273 pounds. And with the talented backs, boy, they get into that secondary, and it's going to be a big gainer.
Manningham is out wide to the right, but quarterback's going to keep it himself and takes it inside the 39, maybe to the 38-yard line. So Alex Ingram
Number 16,
doing it on his own.
Tackle on the play by number 9, Adams Dudetti. And number 37,
Ken McKinley at 2-5 coming into tonight's game. They've had a pretty tough schedule. Marion Harding, Jackson, Ignatius. They played North Canton, Perry, coming up Glen Oak and Massillon. It's been a tough first season for head coach Brian Cross of the Bulldogs. So it will be second to make a third down and 7. This time Manningham is out wide to the left single coverage. 3rd and 7. Ball at the Bulldogs 38. Ingram looking for Manningham. Beautiful pattern, and Manningham is at the 10-5 touchdown. And it's Harding once again, and this time Ingram hooks up with his favorite receiver, Mario Manningham, on the slant, and then he does the rest. It's 30-7 Harding.
Just terrible tackling in the secondary. Watch it here. It's just a short slant, about 7 yards, 10 yards downfield. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and he's gone.
2 touchdowns here in the 3rd quarter, and the Raiders on top 30-7 as Spain boots it through 31-7. Well, the Bulldogs fought hard in the first half to try to keep the score close, and a late, last-second field goal by Harding made it 17-7. The Bulldogs come out in the second half here in the 3rd quarter, run the ball successfully a couple of plays, and then, of course, the fumble, the turnover, the touchdown, and then the 3 plays and out and a bad punt, and they go in again. And just like that, it's 31-7.
Yeah, and this Harding team are like a bunch of sharks, Phil. You start bleeding, they're going to be all over you. And believe me, they'll come out hard on this next series, too, because they'd like to put this one away, get another score on the board. But you can see why McKinley has struggled with their 2-5 record. Just breakdowns all over the place. And on that particular play, that really showed it there. All of those missed tackles in the secondary.
The kick, another nice one. It's inside the 5, 10, 15, 20. Still on his feet to the 25 and taken about a bounce at the 30. Tony Reed. Nice little run back, giving the Bulldogs decent field position to start this drive. They look up at the scoreboard, 4:11 to go in the 3rd quarter, and they're down 31-7. But they have run the ball at times successfully. Maybe go back and just try to do some positive things here in this drive.
See if maybe they don't turn Schaefer loose a little bit more. Of course, he's got to have the protection, in which he has not. He's been running for his life for most of the night.
Schaefer under center. Try that play. It certainly worked earlier tonight to Mark Jackson. He got 12 or 14 yards earlier tonight on that play, but stopped here at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and they ran that before on the last series with Brinson, and Harding shut it down. So they're looking for it. So that might be one play you want to shelve.
I said he didn't get anything. 2nd down and 10.
2nd down and 10. Ball's on the 29-yard line.
See, and of course, they're not getting the blocking up front. That opened up nicely earlier in the first half, but since then they've shut it down.
Here they come once again. And that ball is dropped by Raymar Morgan, number 19. Had his hands on it, couldn't come down with it, and that's going to bring up 3rd down and 10.
Roger Matlock on the coverage. 5'7", 165, a junior. Again, Schaefer flushed, throws it right there, and that should have been caught.
It's Raymar Morgan, the wide receiver, 6'4", 180-pound sophomore, so he's got a couple of years to go, but you get the hands on the ball, you got to bring it in. 3rd down and 10. This time Jackson, he will come out wide to the right. He's another good target with Jackson, number 87, at 6 feet, 171 pounds. He's a sophomore. Straight back in the pocket. Here comes the rush. Ludes 1-2. Still on his feet. Too many dark jerseys taking him down at about the 30.
Boy,
he was dodging him. Looked like Pac-Man.
Slipping and sliding through there.
And finally, he went down.
Dig for the Raiders, number 6, John Richardson. Number 8, Dan.
So tough night. He has had very few opportunities to actually plant his feet and look downfield for a receiver. Usually when he drops back, he looks up and he's staring at about 4 or 5 black jerseys.
Bunt away. take it. A pretty good return by John Richardson.
Number 6, John Richardson on the punt return.
31-7 in favor of Harding. First down and 10. Join the WNIR morning crew, 5:30 to 10. Howie Chiswick 10-3, Joe Finan 3-7, and Tom Erickson 7-11. Quite a lineup each weekday on WNIR 100 FM, the talk of Akron. So again,
I'd love to see you take that crowd right there that we're seeing over that whistle stop tavern.
Oh boy, see, I am hungry. Whistle Stop Tavern. You're talking about, of course, Papa John's. First back, number 3. And that again, Delbert Ferguson, and he has had a terrific night tonight. He gets about 4 on that carry, 31-7. And you would think that Harding, having things certainly going their way, try to keep it on the ground and chew up some of the clock here.
Yeah, they'll keep it between the tackles. And these guys are going to be tough to beat here. Harding's got a great defense and some real game breakers on the offensive side of the ball.
Manningham and Sparks out to the left. They gave him 5 on that carry, so it is second down and 5. The pitch back this time. Ferguson hit at the line of scrimmage, pushed forward for maybe a couple of yards, so it's going to be third down and 3 with the clock now to 2 minutes and running here in the third quarter.
Tackle on the play for number 81, Alex Rafus. 10 minutes and 22
There's
seconds.
the pitch back.
St. Anne's 14.
One of the few times
17.
there wasn't a hole there for him, able to struggle for a couple.
Balls on the 42.
See if maybe McKinley can put a stand up here and get the ball back.
Third down. Ingram on in center, pitches back this time to Ferguson. Ferguson able to get that first down and about 3-4 more yards. So first down and 10 for the Raiders. And they've got, when you think about it for next year, Manningham, the speedy wide receiver who just scored a touchdown, will be back next year.
Andre Boomer with a great block there. You see him, number 33, the tight end, 6'1", 216-pound senior. Took that linebacker and nearly kicked him right off the field, opened up a nice hole for the first down.
They have quite a number of players coming back next year. Going to lose some key players like Richard Davis. He's a senior this year. The quarterback, a senior, as is Thaddeus Walker and Jonte Stroud. Ferguson again, and another nice carry.
Number 3, Delbert Ferguson, the ball carrier.
With just a little over a minute to go here in the third quarter, clock continues to run, and they're doing exactly what they wanted to do. Get out here, move ahead. It's 31-7. They've controlled much of this ball game.
Second down and 2.
Got about 8 on the carry for Ferguson. Second down and 2. This time, Sparks split out to the right. Second down and short. Again, going to go to him again. Why not?
Look at that open up. Wow.
Inside the 20. Ferguson again, the ball carrier on this drive. We do have an injured player on the field, number 63 for Harding. That is Matt Mann, is down on the field, but again, a nice hole opened up.
Yeah, he throws 3 or 4 little quick moves there. Mann had a nice block there, 5'11", 212-pound junior. But right now he is down on the field.
Boy, that offensive line. You mentioned Dante Campbell at what, 6'1", 6'2", 250 pounds on that offensive line, and they've got a number of guys that have pushed the Bulldogs all over the field tonight.
Yeah, Lonnie McDonald with real good size at. Well, he's 5'8", 275 pounds, and he's a senior.
Rocco Cerrone, another good one at 6'6", 240.
Yep.
And so right now,
Cerrone had a good game when we were out against Buchtel in game 3 of the year. And you take a look at McKinley now, of course, they'll finish their last game of the season with Massillon, so I guess even though they're struggling, a win would be certainly an uplift in that last ball game of the year against the Tigers.
such a big rivalry, and Cam McKinley taking on Massillon. able to get man up onto his feet. Needs a little bit of help. First down and 10. This drive, it's been Ferguson, the workhorse, and has done a number.
Phil, are we seeing a changing of the guard a little bit this season with Buchtel down?
Yeah.
I mean, Buchtel's going through the city series so far, but they're out of conference. They got shellacked pretty good. Maslin has struggled this season.
Right.
And McKinley.
McKinley is in that city. Garfield has played well. We saw Garfield early, and I look for him to beat Buchtel in the final game. Yeah, but that's a big game too. But Garfield and Buchtel, I think, undefeated in city, but Buchtel only a 4-3 record overall. Oh, they bring him around here.
One guy.
Thaddeus Walker, 10-5, and he is in for another touchdown. Nobody touched him. Thaddeus Walker takes it in 37-7. Harding poured it on.
Yeah, that was a reverse. And who is it? I think it might be Gillespie there. One-on-one situation, and he doesn't have a snowball's chance in Arizona. As he throws him a couple of moves, and Gillespie faked out, he gets outside, and it's good night.
3 touchdowns here in the third quarter, and the Raiders have opened up a huge lead, 37-7, as Spain comes on now to try and tack on the extra point. Sparks the holder. The snap's good. It is down, up, and good. 38-7. Came into tonight's game at 7-0, and Cam McKinley at 2-5. And you'd say, well, could have this type of game. McKinley fought hard in that first half.
Yeah, and they'll finish. Harding will finish with Maslin next week, and then the season ends, the regular season for them against Austin Town Fitch, both on the road. Yes, but the way McKinley has played, well, we looked at that first half and thought, well, there's a ray of hope there, the way they played the last 5 or 6 minutes of the first half, and actually went into the locker room just down 17-7, and then they gave up 2 quick touchdowns, one off of that turnover, to open up the third quarter, and then it's just been the floodgates are open, and it's 38-7 now. And
head coach Brian Cross for the Bulldogs had mentioned, he's working with a young team, a tough schedule. And said against Harding, I mean, you've got 3 or 4 very good backs. The quarterback can run and throw. He said, try and force them to do the things they don't want to do. Just try to slow them down. And it worked for a short time, but really overall it hasn't happened tonight.
Well, you look at this roster, Phil, and it's sophomores and juniors up and down. So he's going to have some of these kids back, get a year of maturity, and maybe some underclassmen below them are going to come up here. And like I said, a program like McKinley, they get a couple guys coming back here, getting maturity, building up those front lines there, and they could be right back in the thick of things next year.
Tyrone Gillespie able to take it out to the 18-yard line. So first down and 10 for the Bulldogs.
Boy, when do you remember them having these two seasons back-to-back like they did last year, 3-7. And John Miller resigned as a head coach there after that season last year. Now this year, 2-5, looking to go 2-6 after tonight's ball game, and 2 pretty tough games remaining.
2 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. The Bulldogs going to keep it on the ground, trying to get something going, and not there. Hit at the 15 and drop to the 15, and they're just firing out, coming at them. That is the end of the third quarter, and 3 touchdown drives here in the third quarter by the Raiders, and it is Harding 38, Canton McKinley 7. We'll be back with the fourth quarter in just a minute. And we're back. Long quarter for the McKinley Bulldogs, but boy, those Raiders, 38-7, 3 touchdowns in the third quarter. Got to get your Raiders.
And I'll tell you, with the Raiders rolling, you want to get your gear. T-shirts, sweatshirts, gloves, watches, hats, ponchos, and much, much more. Purchase these items, go to the cafeteria deliveries entrance behind the high school, Open 7 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. weekdays. All profits go to the MH Youth Organization Student Activities Fund. Darla Banks gets it done. She heads this fine nonprofit program. The funds go back into the school for the students.
All right. Great program. Get your Raider gear. Trying to go to Mark Jackson on streaking down the sidelines. Incomplete. 3rd down and 13. Just underway in the 4th quarter. If you're just flipping channels. And turn this on here. Warren Harding undefeated at 7-0. Ken McKinley coming in at 2-5. It was 17-7 in favor of Harding at halftime. Now it's 38-7. It's been all Harding tonight. Here comes the pressure. Finally able to just dump it off. Looking for a flag over there, but incomplete.
Oh, I think he did throw it.
11-19 here in the ball game. Boy, you work up an appetite, though, don't you, from coming to a ball game tonight? Nothing like stopping off for a hot, delicious pizza.
That's at Papa John's. 1976 Elm Road. They've got that choose a large for $10.99. Can't beat it.
You can afford that. Get your wallet out.
Intentional grounding against the Bulldogs.
Up. Intentional grounding.
Well, on that play, he sprinted right and only had a one receiver. Everybody was on the left side of the field, streaking down, and he was about 50 yards away. Nobody to throw to, so he did what he could. Buried again under an avalanche of black jerseys.
Boy, it's tough because you know they're just going to fire out and come at you, and it's been a tough go for Mike Schaefer. A nice punt, a beautiful punt. And that'll take it inside the 35 down to the 32 before it's touched. Sailed over everyone, and there's a positive. Now it'll be 1st down and 10 for Harding. They'll come out, and again, they've had a variety of running backs do the job tonight. Early on, it was Richard Davis. Then he was hurt, but of course they've gone to Delbert Ferguson last drive or so, and they really mix it up. Alex Ingram, the quarterback, has called his own number several times. Jonte Stroud, and 1st down and 10. Ball at the 32. Pitch back, looking for a little room, found it, and dropped. That's John Richardson. Called his name a couple of times tonight. Richardson, only 5'9", but 176 pounds. He is a junior.
Earl Ogletree with a nice tackle here. And, you know, we mentioned before, it seems like the McKinley numbers are down with the number of guys on the team. And you get a lot of these guys having to go both ways, playing a lot both offensively and defensively, and they got to be worn out. And you look to the sideline, particularly, Phil, on both the offensive defensive lines, the size of the kids that are on the bench are not that big. So there's really not much substitution for the front line. So they're out there for 4 quarters, a lot of these guys banging away, and it's going to wear you down.
Richardson's not much on that carry. Nice play by Antoine Height, number 84 for McKinley. So it's 3rd down and 8. And we have a timeout. The Raiders calling a timeout with 10:13 to go here in the ball game. For entertaining and informative talk, tune into WNIR 100 FM, the talk of Akron.
Got a nice ball game next week. Youngstown Ursuline.
That's right, at Youngstown Cardinal Mooney. And the next week, the following week, on October 24th, Akron St. Vincent St. Mary will take on the Walsh Jesuit Warriors. Walsh put up quite a fight against Hoban last night, and Hoban with Terrell Sutton and company able to come through. You know, people talk about Hoban, they talk about Sutton, and certainly is a great running back, but they have a lot of weapons, and they've got a pretty staunch defense.
Yep.
So.
And a very big team. And you've got Mooney, who I believe they were beaten yesterday by, was it Benedictine?
That's right. And I don't remember the score.
We had Mooney last week against Canton Central Catholic.
Yep.
3rd down and 8. The ball's on the 35-yard line.
And they struggled against the Crusaders.
3rd down and 8. Ball at the 35. Again, just going to pitch it back, and a nice defensive effort. This time, Richardson once again the ball carrier. It was his turn, I guess, to play a series, and nice defensive play, and so they're going to have to punt the ball away with the clock continuing to move at 10:15.
That's Ogletree again. He's been in on quite a few stops here for the McKinley Bulldogs.
Christian Smith, number 24, back deep for Ken McKinley, along with Ryan Brinson.
Deep for the Bulldogs, number 3, Ryan Brinson. Number 24.
So the Bulldogs should have decent field position to start this next drive. See if they can get something going. The snap, and he's going to be brought down. So that is certainly good news for the Bulldogs. Not able to handle it. It was a little bit low and not able to get it away. Isaac Cheney couldn't hang on to it.
3 minutes and 48 seconds.
So the Bulldogs come up here and get an opportunity to put the ball in the end zone.
And it's Ogletree again. Coming in there, there he is as he slips past the block, and an excellent tackle as he throws him to the turf. And now McKinley with an excellent opportunity now deep into Harding territory.
Ball's on the 10-yard line.
Harding is going to use another timeout. With 9:17 to go, and the Raiders lead at 38-7. They have done just about everything right tonight. They've run the ball successfully, thrown the ball. Certainly tonight, Alex Ingram has done a very nice job. Offense and defense, the only things negative, I think, the penalties and this right here, and that's been about it tonight. And they lead at 38-7, looking to go 8-0 on the season. Again, last year into the state playoffs, the state title game, a great year. They lost the final game and finished the season at 14-1, the Division I state runner-up.
Tough 2-point loss, 21-19 to Cincinnati Elder.
So looking to get back there and maybe win it all this year. And really for the Bulldogs, trying to rebuild, trying to work on some things and finish out this season on a positive note. As you mentioned, coming up the Massillon game, the big Camp McKinley Massillon game, and Massillon has struggled a little bit this year.
They will take on, the McKinley Bulldogs will take on another Federal League opponent, Glen Oak, next week.
1st down and 10 for McKinley. Going to hand off this time to the left side. Pretty good hole. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, touchdown. Just like that, the Bulldogs one play, and Brinson takes it in for the score, and why not? He has done a nice job tonight. Returns kicks and punts, and he's all over the place, and he takes it in from 10 yards out for the score to make it 38-13.
Yeah, nice little sweep to the left that time. Found his hole there as he cut inside and just took it right in for the score. That time, McKinley showing good blocking up front.
Big hole and able to take it in, and the extra point is up, and it is good. 38-14 with 9:42 to go here in the ball game.
McKinley 13.
I thought he made it.
Check that. The Bulldogs 14.
I thought it was through, and it was 38-14. So a ray of hope here. Kick the ball away, play some good defense, get the ball back, and again, offense. You still got to mix it up a little bit, because if you're going to go back there and pass every down, he's had a tough night. But a nice run here by Brinson.
Yeah, here's that touchdown. Gets a good cut inside there and a nice kick out block. And let's see.
On the kick for the Bulldogs, number 99, Zach Canton.
Mark Alisaz, 5'5", 234-pound offensive guard with a good block, and Brinson cuts inside that and goes right in for the score. You know, Phil, he was the focus of the offense coming in for this season. He had a heck of a year last year, over 1,200 yards rushing for McKinley. And they figured that they were just going to turn him loose. And unfortunately, the offensive line has been just too inconsistent for him to be consistent carrying the football this year.
Richardson will take it and able to find a little bit of a hole, then rocked at the 28.
Number 6, John Richardson.
So first down and 10 they'll start. Nice tackle, Kirksey on the tackle.
Well, they get down in the area of the ball, Phil, and they just can't tackle. They just, even on that kickoff there were 3 or 4 missed tackles. Guys, tackles broken. You watch it here. Very sloppy tackling. Now, see, that should have been sealed right there. There's one miss there. There's another one. He breaks that one. That guy can't hold him. He needs help here. And that's the way it's gone all night long.
Also in on that tackle was Stringer. So it is first down and 10. Harding, the Raiders have the ball on their own 28. They lead it 38-14. Handoff, and Richardson now at the 50, 40, 30, 20, 10-5, touchdown. Richardson, who was stopped in that last drive, comes back. They give the ball right back to him. He breaks free and takes it 72 yards for the score, 44-14. What a run by John Richardson.
Starts out left, breaks by big hole, then dips outside, and what do you know, a missed tackle. Now it's a foot race. And nobody really has any angle of pursuit. Everybody was over clear to the other side of the field because that's where the play was originally designed to run, was to the left. So everybody got sucked over to that side. He breaks past the line of scrimmage, cuts across the grain. The one tackle missed, and he gets up out the sideline, and he's gone.
Extra point is up and good, and the Raiders now extend their lead back to 31. Raiders lead at 45-14. It's been a rough night for the Bulldogs, a little bit winded.
He heard you talking about that Papa John's pizza.
He said, "Where is it, Phil?" I better come up with it. He'll look happy. Maybe I can get around him. I don't think he can tackle me. They've had trouble. I think you really touched on it several times about tackling, and every coach will tell you. You got to wrap them up. I don't care if it's a pee-wee level, junior high, high school, you get to the collegiate level, even in the pros. We got to tackle. And if you're able to wrap your arms around the guy and bring him down, makes the game a little bit easier. And tonight, the Bulldogs got to go back and really do some work. Because initially, most of the running backs certainly tonight hit for a small gain, but they turn it into a long gain or a touchdown run that we just saw, 72 yards by Richardson to make it 45-14.
Well, you've seen it, Phil, where your 2, 3, 4 yard carries, missed tackles turn into 7, 8, 10, 15-yard runs, and we've seen that from the get-go here tonight.
Well, the defense has been out there a lot tonight too, and it's been a rough one for the Bulldogs. I'm just not used to seeing Canton McKinley this year and last year lose a ball game like this.
Yeah, getting peeled like they are tonight.
Out to the 20-25. Nice little run back. Brinson again.
Well, that's one good thing too, Phil, is Brinson will be back next year. So if they shore up that line, he could have a monster season because he's got all of the tools to have a big season.
And again, he can break it from anywhere on the field. Again, returns punts and kickoffs and has done a nice job. He just scored a touchdown for the Bulldogs, a 10-yard scamper. And then the Raiders come back just like that. But it is 45-14, 9:14 to go here in the ball game, and the Bulldogs will start at their own 30. They'll hand it off. A little bit of a hole out near the 35, maybe just across the 35, and that'll bring up second down and about 5. Once again, Brinson on the carry.
Tackle to play number 64, Matt Klein. Second down and 5.
Looks like Warren Harding defensively has some of the backup troops in there. Get a good push along the offensive front, and he picks up some decent yardage. One of their better running plays of the night.
Second down and 5. McKinley, the Bulldogs line up in the eye. They pitch it back to Brinson, trying to work his way, and he's a nice little run. Gets about 7 yards for a first down out. Let's see where they mark it, but he does have the first down at about the 42, so first down and 10. Brinson a couple of carries and gets about 12 yards on those 2 carries. Patient, waits, and then
First down and 10.
tackling on the other side of the ball needs some work. This time wide to the right, and that is Jackson as they line up once again in the eye. First down and 10, ball at the 42. First back through, and a nice hole up past the midfield.
Number 32,
And Theo Goodright has had a pretty good night tonight, and another first down.
Well, that ripped open nicely. Let's see, I think it's, yeah, right there at the center guard, right in between the hole there. Pops open, and he gets into the secondary. Good run, shoulder pads down, drives forward, and picks up a McKinley first down.
They'll mark it at the 46 of Harding. First down and 10 again in the eye, and again second back through to the 40. Still in bounds and dropped at about the 39 is Brinson. When you take a look at the outstanding teams in the area, it's always hard to say, you know, which team maybe has a good shot at winning it all. And you know, certainly Harding has played well tonight. Looks like in the City Series you have probably Garfield going, should they beat Buchtel, I guess, into the playoffs. We talked about last night with Hoban and Walsh. Hoban won that game, playoff bound. And once you get into that second season, you never know. You get a team on a run like a Mogador, and they've been there year in and year out. It's always an exciting time as the McKinley Bulldogs now, the quarterback Schaefer will call a timeout. And again, you start playing well towards the end of the season. You have the health is pretty good on your ball club. You have a chance to do something.
Yep.
Haven't talked about Hudson. Hudson's,
yeah, I was just going to say the Hudson Explorers and talk a little bit about that Western Reserve Conference. You know, Phil, we've seen some of these conferences, though, and the play really has gone downhill. We've seen the City in a slide, although a couple of the teams are trying to get back to respectability. But for the most part, it's always been a 2-team race over the last half dozen years or so with Garfield and Buchtel. But you look at the Western Reserve, the Southern Conference, Hudson's really the only decent team. The other ones are really struggled. And you look at Solon, who's been an outstanding team. We had them a few weeks ago against Cuyahoga Falls, who's always been tough. And boy, neither of those teams have matched up this year very well.
Stowe struggling this year in the Suburban League. I mean, you have Green playing pretty well, and you have Wadsworth playing fairly well. Copley won a big game last night, but they probably won't go to the playoffs. And tackled, hit hard.
Number 32, Theo Goodright.
Goodright again on the carry.
Tackle on the play for number 31, Marco Hall.
And then you see the decline of McKinley and Maslin here, at least for this season. And some of these other teams are starting to get into the mix. Their programs are building up. We mentioned the Federal League, and you've got 3 or 4 tough ball clubs in there.
Well, yeah, that's right. And you had mentioned before about McKinley in the Federal League next year. So first down and 10. Again, Brinson finds some room, and he's inside the 20. Down to the 16. So Brinson, the ball carrier. Another first down as the Bulldogs continue to move the chains with just over 6 minutes remaining in the game. The Bulldogs trail here 45-14.
Well, watch this outstanding move he makes right after here. Watch. Slides to the outside. That was beautiful. And then uses his speed to get what he can. Almost had that corner turn and then spins back inside. But that one little move as he skips to the outside, that was wonderful. You see what type of back he is and the explosiveness that he has within himself.
Jackson out wide to the right, in the eye, the first back through again, and that has worked a couple of times. This time they go to Theo Goodright, and he's got 3 or 4 tough yards.
Tackle to play for number 20, Jimmy Butts. And number 43, Vince Whitehead.
Well, McKinley stitching together a very nice drive here and knocking on the Warren Harding door all the way down to the 12-yard line.
You had mentioned maybe some reserves now, defensive side of the football. You got to give them some work too. They work very hard. They want to get into the ball game. And Brinson this time in motion. But again, when he switches, Jackson able to switch hands, and Jackson able to go in for the score. He did a nice job on that run. Mark Jackson, 6 feet, about 170 pounds. He's a sophomore. We talked about the young kids on Canton. McKinley, he'll be back for a couple more years. He did a nice job on that play. Just got to tuck in your shirt.
Yeah, he just he came back inside. That's that inside handoff play on the counter, and that opened up. He had a nice carry earlier in the ball game, and then Harding's defense really shut it down. This time, once again, they go back to it towards the end of the ball game. Opens up nicely for him, and he takes it in for the 6.
Well, the Bulldogs now cut it to 45-20. They've been able to move the ball the last couple of times. They've had it. And Harding, of course, strikes quick. They scored 3 times in that third quarter. Was 17-7 at halftime, and they scored 3 times in the third quarter. And Richardson just ran off a 72-yard touchdown run just moments ago to put the Raiders up 45-14. But here, Jackson takes it in for the touchdown, and it's 45-21 with 5:14 on the clock.
Harding gearing up now for the big playoff run, and it's been a fine season. Now they'll go to 8-0 with just 2 games remaining on their schedule, and then they'll kick it into high gear for these playoffs. And they look pretty sharp here tonight. No 2 ways about that. You know, and you can see the improvement, Phil, from when we had them back in the game 3 against Buchtel, where they were really sluggish. We saw signs of some good play out there, but for the most part, they did not look that sharp. But here tonight, they've had it going on all cylinders.
Well, and we had happened to pick up a high school publication that had Harding ranked 4th in the nation, and we saw that ball game. We said, I don't know. I mean, that's
not sure they're the 4th best team in the state.
Yeah,
let alone in the nation.
But again, a drastic improvement from the game against Buchtel. They beat Buchtel earlier this year, and playing very well tonight.
Yep.
Picked up at the 30, 35, out to the 40, and be stopped right about the 40. Harding will take over as Joe Finnessy able to take it just over across the Warren Harding Raiders 40, so it'll be first down and 10.
Good to see some of the backups in the ball game here. You mentioned before. You know, we had done Mogador over the past couple of years, and that's what that Scott Pollock does. Boy, once he thinks that the game is in hand, he gets those backups in there, and that's great because those kids that don't start maybe 2nd or 3rd stringers, they put in just as much work as the other guys out there, and it's nice to see that they're rewarded with some game time.
You're right. Richardson again, he just ripped off a 72-yard touchdown run, and he gets about 8 or 9 on that carry. John Richardson. He's racking up the yards. And Richard Davis, the running back, we haven't seen much of him. They don't really need him. He was shaken up. An outstanding running back for Harding, number 27, shaken up late in the second quarter. And it looked like he wouldn't be able to go, but he did come out in the third quarter and was a big part of that first touchdown drive.
Yes.
But we haven't really seen much of him. I think certainly it's 45-21. Rest one of your top backs on the ball club. Get ready for next week. So it's 2nd down and 2. They gave 8 on that carry. Richardson once again Another nice hole, this time in the middle, and he's able to get to the 45, maybe the 44 of Canton McKinley.
Well, you see that textbook blocking up front for the Harding. I mean, they are just ripping huge holes, and they've done that all. You should just tape these guys and watch the execution of the linemen. Look at that. Or if you got any kind of speed, you can get into that linebacker secondary area and nothing flat, because these guys really poke big holes, much like that Hoban we saw last night with the huge holes that offensive line creates.
Part of the show now, number 11, Rashawn Shannon at quarterback for Harding. Handoff into Richardson, and got about 5, but Shannon 5'8", only 141 pounds. He's a junior, so maybe in the off-season put on a little bit of, he could go out and get a Papa John's pizza or two. Although not that you would put on weight, but. So Richardson again able to slice his way for another 5-6 yards. 3:15 clock continues to run here in the ball game with Harding on top 45-21. Richardson the ball carrier once again, and boy, he has been the workhorse now for much of this second half. Another injured player
Number 6, John Richardson.
on the field.
Tackle on the play for number 34, by Kirksey. Injured right on the play.
Jimmy Butts in at running back now. He's the young man that's shaken up on the field. 5'8", 148, and a sophomore. Looks like he may have just been kicked in the shin there as they're working on that lower leg. Next week, of course, we're going to be tangling with Youngstown Ursuline and Cardinal Mooney. Should be a good ball game.
Should be a great game. And then the following week, St. Vincent St. Mary at Walsh Jesuit. And you got Jay Brophy leading the way for the Irish. And he's been there a couple of years as well, he's assistant coach. I'm not sure how many years at head coach. And Jerry Reardon, of course, is many, many seasons at Walsh. I believe 24. One of the certainly great coaches, but he's another one of those guys that really prepares the kids on the playing field, but also off the playing field. Gets them ready now for you know, what comes up after high school. Jerry Reardon at Walsh Jesuit. 3rd down and 4. Clock down to 2:15. Continues to run. This time they'll pitch it back to Richardson. Might be a little bit tired. He's just inside the 40 to about the 39. Bring up 4th down.
Number 6, John Richardson, the ball carrier. Tackle on the play, number
Now Richardson is a junior, so he'll be back next year.
Well, watch this tackle by Jeff Vaughn. 5'8" backup. He's a 5'8", 185 sophomore. Boy, and he really put the wood to that young man there and slammed him to the turf. Good play. It's one of the better tackles tonight for McKinley.
4th down and 6. Going to send it outside this time to Richardson, and he got hammered as he got to about the 38, and he got to that 38, and he was level.
Harold Moore, 6'2", 182 sophomore, comes up and puts the shoulder pads to him. Watch him here as he tries to turn that corner, and number 28 comes down and lowers the boom.
So the Bulldogs will take over on downs at the 38
38-yard line.
with a minute 45 to go. Be nice to maybe go downfield, get one more score. Again, McKinley. Handoff. And a good run. Aaron Best in the game at quarterback.
Caleb Beasley, the ball carrier.
Caleb Beasley, number 23 in the game, and got close to 9 yards on that carry. Caleb Beasley, 5'11", 164-pound junior. Really a nice run.
Yep. Good cut inside.
2nd down and 1. The ball's on the 47-yard line.
2nd down and 1. Aaron Best, the quarterback, he is a junior at 5'9". getting some action here late in the ball game. And got the first down. Under a minute to go as they move the chains. They'll stop the clock and then start it back up.
Well, Phil, again, with just 2 regular season games to go, and then playoffs, it's time to get your Raider gear.
Well, it's a great time, playoffs especially. You know, you get all that gear, you get ready to root on your team, especially with a poncho, something like that, because you've got some inclement weather, rain and snow on the way, and sweatshirts, gloves, t-shirts, watches, hats, and much more. And to purchase the items, you can go to the cafeteria deliveries entrance behind the high school, open 7 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. weekdays. All the profits go to the youth organization Student Activities Fund, and Darla Banks heads up the fine nonprofit program. The funds go right back to the school for the students.
Second down and 3.
And boy, what is this? October, almost November, isn't it?
Better
Boy.
get your Christmas shopping, and that's over at Quaker Square. Got a brand new store over there.
And they're open, in fact, open all year round, the Christmas shop there. But they have, if you haven't been to Quaker Square in a while, you got to get over there. They've got some great novelty shops, some different shops with and certainly some fine restaurants.
Spend a whole day there.
That's right. Just 16 seconds are going to start the clock. Back up and running. Maybe try to sneak in one more play for the Bulldogs. Once again, next Friday, Youngstown Ursuline at Youngstown Cardinal Mooney. We'll have the ball game for you here on Time Warner Cable as Best goes down, and that is the end of the ball game. So the final score of tonight's game, Warren Harding 45. They move now to 8-0. Canton McKinley 21, and McKinley drops to 2-6. For my partner Mickey Morano, I'm Phil Ferguson, and certainly the crew here at Prism Sports. High School Football Blitz. Thanks for joining us. 45-21, Harding a winner. Good night, everyone.
Tonight's exciting Northeast Ohio high school football action is brought to you by Courtesy Auto World, by Liberty Harley Davidson in Akron, by Quaker Square, downtown Akron, by Panini's next to Belden Village Mall, and by Time.
NBA fans are making their way into Staples Center in Los Angeles. They expect a capacity crowd for this preseason game featuring the most heralded high school player to ever enter the NBA. 18-year-old LeBron James, his NBA national television debut taking place here on TNT as the Cleveland Cavaliers go against the Los Angeles Lakers. Hi, everybody. I'm Marv Albert along with the czar, Mike Tritello, and we are delighted to welcome to our TNT broadcast crew Steve Kerr, 15-year veteran of the NBA. It's always very helpful.
Thanks. I knew he'd be a big help. Yeah.
The last time we saw Steve Kerr, he had a classic game against the Dallas Mavericks as he finished up with San Antonio in grand style last season. Steve, one of the premier long-distance shooters in NBA history, and making his commentating debut with us here tonight. Czar, any